Hello, thank you for joining me. A very quick one. Well, I always say that, don't I? But the aim is to be a quick one tonight. Firstly, after doing the last roundup, I realised I always do this. There's one I leave out. There's one I forget to mention because it's been left on the toilet cistern or somewhere. But yeah, I thought I'd better because this is actually one of the, you know, when you sort of remember a book you had when you were a kid and you can't remember the name of it. In this case, an anthology. You can't remember the publisher or the editor. And I think I even went on discussion boards and does anyone remember the anthology that had this on it and that on it? And this was on the cover and didn't really come up with it. And then when I was in Barmouth oh God, I've got to try with the Welsh names, Abermore or Ibermo, a few weeks back, there's a very interesting second-hand shop in Barmouth which has books, and not just the books are in the basement largely. There's other stuff there, but it's a small town. You'll know it if you see it. But of course, in there, I stumble across a copy of this thing. It is Suspense, short stories chosen by Raymond Wilson, published in 1982 by John Murray of Albemarle Street, London. I don't know if that publisher still exists. One of a series, I think it's going to let you see here, but there was others in this series: crime, horror, humour, etc., etc. But one of the reasons this book really stuck in my mind is I read it. It would have been the year of my O levels, around about the spring of that year or late winter. I got hit by a bug that turned out to be pneumonia. So that was me off school and largely bedridden for about 3 weeks. Now, was I going to use the downtime for revision purposes or looking at school books? God, no. And my mum, I suppose, being realistic about this, I think she was probably conscious or even worried that I had very little to do. All right, I could read, but also I could just binge on, when you're off school ill, you just used to binge on daytime, the TV that you wouldn't have known existed otherwise, daytime TV, which I suppose at the time would have been, ironically, there probably would have been a lot of Welsh language programmes on back there, which, I'd be quite interested in paying attention to now. I think, I don't know about then, but, and, episodes of Crown Court and this sort of thing. And it was that time. I remember Michael Jackson's Billie Jean being the massive hit at the time. So an all music TV, I think possibly the Tube. Was the Tube running at that point? It might have been on its downtime, or the second series might have just started. Anyway, music TV at the time would have saturated you with that Michael Jackson song, which I associate with this. But anyway, cut long story short, my mum just went out and bought me some fresh reading material to try and wean me away from consuming too much shitty TV. So one of the books I remember being this. I think I heard that there was probably another similar volume because I sort of remembered this containing stories that on examination it doesn't contain. So there must have been another similar. It might have even been another one in this series. Maybe it was the horror one. I think I had a book that contained. There was a horror story called the Boom Slang. Concerning itself with it was like this I think it was like a mechanical horror snake, if I'm remembering this right. That's not in this book. There is a snake horror story in this book, which is, give me a second, The Man and the Snake by Ambrose Bierce. Anyway, also in this volume, Terrified by C.B. Guilford, The Quest for Blank Claveringi by Patricia Highsmith, Contents of the Dead Man's Pocket by Jack Finney, Fat Man's Ghost by Raymond Wilson, Uneasy Homecoming by Will F. Jenkins, The Red Room by H.G. Wells, The Veldt by Ray Bradbury, The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, The Birds by Daphne du Maurier, And Sredni, the last one particularly stuck in my mind at the time, Sredni Vashtar by Saki. Saki would often pop up in these type of compilations. I'm not sure whether or not it was out of copyright by this point, but anyway, Sredni Vashtar is particularly demented. I won't spoil it for you by giving you the full, but yeah, and also what stuck in my mind was the reproduction of the Scream as the cover picture for this one. So it's just really odd that really randomly, when I'm sort of rooting around in this antique shop or sort of home clearance type of shopping in Abermore, up this pops. Wow, yeah, okay. So it's not a thick volume actually. I sort of got through the bulk of it on the train back, but that it is like a 6-hour journey or something. But anyway, yeah, it's odd that these things just fall off a shelf into your lap sometimes when you've been looking for them. But other than that, anyway, I did feel the need to sort of say hello and thank you to Coffee Club people who over there on Buy Me a Coffee have been generous in supplying me with caffeine. I had a nice double macchiato never pronounced that right, double macchiato this morning. But yes, so I do have to thank Nicola, Paul, Dan, and NHS Cycle. Actually, anyway, thank you. And I do have a feeling. I think Buy Me a Coffee does let you create unique content for people on there. I'm not sure. I think it might just be audio at this point. I do need to look into that further. So I'll have a think about possible incentives or at least thank yous, rewards that could be employed there. But anyway, yes, I did promise to keep this brief, didn't I? Thank you very much, and we will catch up soon, I hope.